So start off with your observation colony with an insect net and catch foragers as they leave. Do this in the early morning. You have the best chance then. Okay, you carry them over in your motorcycle or whatever you have, and then you bring them over and you set up your feeder. In this case, we just walked 100 meters over. Now, inside your insect net, you have the foragers. You grab a tube, and then you carefully have your finger over the end and you release the bee. This one got away, didn't want to feed. But now let's watch as he grabs the bee again. He has it held on both sides in his hand, and he keeps it shaded, and he keeps it just at the right location. So let's watch this in slow motion. He brings it to the base of the feeder, and then now the bee starts to drink. She starts to make contact with the sugar solution. You go down, you can see that she's already starting to feed. Now, he's not immediately pulling it back. The key is to be as gentle as possible and to have the bee basically crawl out herself and begin to feed on the feeder, which she does. Now, you might be tempted to immediately grab another bee, but as you saw in the previous one, sometimes they just fly away. And in that process, they can disturb the bee that's actually feeding. So the best thing to do is to let that one bee that you've got lucky enough to feed, just let her feed, and then in the meantime, you can prepare your next bee. Okay, and here we go. This is actually the opposite of what I said, and as you can see, luckily this bee left, but this bee was a little bit disturbed, and now she looks like she may be flying away. So probably better just to do one bee at a time. Now, I promised you 10 minutes, and this is actually less than 10 minutes because bees are suddenly flying around. And in our process, we had 2 bees that actually fed, and remarkably, they came back very rapidly. And here we have touchdown. And so the bee is now, actually, there's a bit of honey that dripped on there, and you can see that she's looking for it, and she's starting to drink. And there's this process of local enhancement where bees attract other bees. And you'll notice in many cases, the other bee will come and try to almost land directly on top of the bee that's feeding. There she goes. And she starts drinking.